Breaking news, honkies, breaking news. Whitebread news back here with another installment. Light up a cigarette for this one. This one's gonna get a little serious. Alright, I'm gonna be like every other token white person and say this as a disclaimer. I have a lot of black friends. So when I say this video, they're gonna understand what I'm talking about. For you other people who don't like what I'm about to say, so be it. Who gets to say the word nigga and who don't? And when do you get to say it? I had a talk with a little kid the other day. I was saying the word. I didn't mean to be saying it in front of him, but I was saying it. And he said, well, do I get to say that word? And I'm like, well, no. He said, well, why not? I'm like, well, before I start telling you why not, I'm going to tell you two things. I said there's two different ways to say the word. You can say nigger or nigga. Now, one's derogatory and one's not. The one with the ER is derogatory, the one with the A is not. He said, well, I'll just say it that way then with the A. And I'm like, well, no, you can't. And he's like, well, why not? I said, well, this is the second part of what I was about to tell you. You can only say it if there's somebody around that can't kick your ass. A lot of black people don't even like hearing the words, especially come out of a white person's mouth. Yet they say it all the time. Now, I say it to my boys all the time, whether they white, black, or Chinese, or whatever they are. Spanish, I call them all. And like, what's up, my nigga? You know what I'm saying? I don't really say it with an R, I really don't say it with an A. People where I'm from, we've been saying it so long in a good sense, not even derogatory, that's just how we talk. Now, when I went to Pennsylvania, people were kind of like taken back by it. They couldn't believe that I was saying a word. To me, I really didn't even think about it. It was just how I talked, you know? So the little kid was like, man, he's like, well, I understand. And I was like, well, it's the same sense. I was like, they get to call each other a certain word, and we don't get to say it, whether it's derogatory or not. But then I started looking up other stuff, and I was like, well, shit. I said, I've been called cracker and honky. My nickname is Whitebread. I've been called Whitebread for I don't know how many years now. Does it offend me? Nah, really, I don't care. I open up every one of my news segments here with breaking news. Honkies, breaking news. It is what it is. It's just words. To me, it's just words. So I went and did some research on the word nigga. Nigger. And it comes back from the Spanish and the Portuguese are the ones who started the word. And the only reason the word came about is because that was their word for color black. So when they started with the slave ships and getting slaves from Africa and they were bringing them across, they didn't have nothing else to call them but what the color of them was. So if there was a bunch of red people, I guess we'd be calling them rojos and ruggers or whatever. But then it wasn't until like the late 18th century, late 1800s here, where it became a derogatory word to people. Only because really white people started using it as a derogatory word. But it wasn't the word was derogatory, it was how they said it in the sentence that they put it in that made the word derogatory. Because you could say the same thing to say man. You stupid man, you ain't worth a quarter. That's just as derogatory to me as you stupid nigga, you ain't worth a quarter. Same thing. Means the same thing, I guess. You could use any adjective there and make it seem derogatory. And I'm not trying to condone a word or try to say that it's okay to say it and that white people should run out and just start using the word anytime they feel free to say it. Because like I said, if there's somebody around that don't like the word and that can kick your ass, I don't suggest saying it. Me, on the other hand, I take my chances. I really don't care. I'm not meaning it bad. I never really called anybody out on it and called them a stupid nigga to their face or a nigger to their face. I get offended by the word kind of myself. I was always told that I talked black and I dressed black and I acted black and I did everything that black people do. So I was called a wigger my whole teenage life. Actually, white people hated me more than they hated black people, if you can believe that. So, if you're going to use the word, use it in a sense where you're not trying to offend anybody. If that's how you use your salutations, then just use it. I'm gonna tell you, Jay-Z used it with an R one time in a song. I didn't listen to his music for 2 years. I felt that it was just blatantly just disrespectful the way he used it. And he's a black dude, and I ain't like how he used it. So I didn't listen to his music no more. That was my choice. I went back to listening to Jay-Z after, but that's just how I felt at the time. Young kids today need to learn that words are just words, you know? Honky and cracker gets thrown around, and it's not racist to say those words, but it's racist to say nigga. I don't see where the double standard comes in. It's kind of like the same thing I went back to with fat people getting to call skinny people skinny, and we just got to get over it. I would like to hear everybody's view on this, because I'm sure everybody's got a different view depending on what color you are and what background you came from or what neighborhood you grew up in. It's different for everybody. I grew up in some pretty hard neighborhoods, and that's just how we talk to each other. My friends that I grew up with, I said it. They didn't think twice about it. Shit, I was living the same life they was living. You know? Doing the same things that they were doing, going through the same shit that they was going through. When I got older, I still had a bunch of my partners. These were older black men. I said it. They looked at me kind of crazy in the beginning, and I told them, I was like, do you think I'm being derogatory to you? Or do you think I'm trying to say something out of line to make you feel bad about who you are? The old men looked at me, and they were like, well, no. I was like, well, then why is it an issue? I don't understand why it's an issue. I think really society needs to get over the name calling and the labels on people. I like calling names. I call stuff for what it is. Have I ever said it derogatory? Hell yeah, I said it derogatory before. Have I used other names? Man, look, I've been around enough white people, I done heard every name under the sun. Moon, cricket, porch, monkey, blue gum, man, spear, chucker, all kinds of stuff. I done heard them all. Some of them are kind of comical where they come up with this shit. I don't really believe that being derogatory to anybody is right. Like, really. It's like calling a gay person a faggot and any other stuff. Yeah, it hurts their feelings or whatever, but it's that person. That person's feelings are hurt. I don't know. We just need to come to a clear understanding of who gets to say what and who gets to say it and when. Me, I'm not going to change who I am for nobody. The word comes out of my mouth, just know that I'm not saying it derogatory. Unless I put a bunch of adjectives in front of it, then you know for a fact that it's derogatory. With that being said, let me go ahead and sign out on this one. Like, share, comment on this. Let me know what you feel on the word. You don't want your stuff being out there publicly, PM me. I just want to know what you're thinking about. I'm going to put these on YouTube. Hopefully I get some response from the YouTube Nation too. Alright. That being said, Whitebread News, people, we out.